about. We're trying to highlight the problem that we've had in this country for years and years and years. And every time that it's raised, it's called xenophobia. And we said this even from day one last year. We said that we know for a fact that the minute we start raising this issue, it's going to be called xenophobia. From day one. That's what we said. Because nobody wants to listen to what we're saying. And I think that's where South Africans get frustrated. You know, when every time we're trying to raise our concerns, you don't listen to what we're saying. You choose to make us the bad people about the problems that we're experiencing in our country because of people we don't know. You understand? You wouldn't be okay in your own house with people just walking and you don't know them, you don't know who they are, you don't know how they're staying, they start taking things from your house. Of course you wouldn't feel comfortable. This is exactly what we're complaining about. We're saying, can you listen to what we're saying?
Okay, so why then doesn't March and March come out? You say March and March has never advocated for violence. Why then doesn't March and March come out and say and actually condemn the violence?
How many times?
No, go into these communities, like you said. You know these communities. You know the community leaders.
I just had a march now. A march with thousands of people. Thousands. I said the same thing. I was on TV saying the same thing. You see this video here with 1.8 million people. That's one. I'm saying the same thing.
The first one?
Yes. It's got 1.8 million views. I'm reiterating.
What's the volume?
I'm reiterating exactly that. It's in Zulu. And I'm doing it in Zulu on purpose. I'm doing it in Zulu on purpose.
So that people
can understand what the message is.
So what's 30th of June about?
So the 30th of June was not announced by us, right? There's March and March, there's Phakela Umthakathi, there's Ngizwe Mkhulu, right? We're three different entities.
Three different groups.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Phakela Umthakathi has his own thing where he'll march. You'll see him sometimes. We're not there when he marches. We're not there.
Which one is that? The guy that's wearing the Zulu, wears the Zulu outfit,
yes.
right?
Yes.
He's a different group.
He's got his own organization.
So he's not part of March and March.
No.
Right. He's called
Insizwa Nomnsizwa.
Insizwa.
Yes.
Right.
Ngizwe is a media personality who has always been in the media, who's had a following even before March and March,
right,
or the issue of illegal immigration. He's always been a public figure. He's always been a celebrity with followers, etc. Right? Now, Phakela Umthakathi is his own person, right? But we march together when we're marching together. I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Right?
I hear that.
But he can do his own thing, Kwanongoma, some way.
But these are the people, like you said, this man is speaking in violent rhetoric. They say, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. So if March and March is not for violence, why then are you marching?
Let me repeat.
No, I'm just saying, why are you marching with them?
There's no way, I can't refuse anyone to march with March and March. Anyone and everyone has a right to march and say what they...
But knowing full well that, like you said, March and March is not...
If you're saying he's advocating for... I've never seen him advocating for violence.
These are people that carry weapons when they're marching, right?
Do you want to see a Zulu wedding?
Well, no, it's not that.
I'm trying to prove to you.
No, I understand.
I'm trying to say
I
to you.
do get that.
I'm trying to say
but
to you.
a Zulu wedding is not with chants on the streets of South Africa.
I'm saying to you.
With threats going to the vulnerable.
But who goes to the vulnerable? Because the march is to the streets. The march is to the streets. The march is going to the government. Every single march we have has a memorandum. I'm repeating again.
But where's your government office?
It's wherever we're going.
No. As in, where is the president's office?
We've been to the president's office, the union buildings.
Right. So why is the march not every time?
But we can't listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. In South Africa, there's three spheres of government, right?
The local
national government, there's provincial government, there's local government.
Yes, absolutely.
So it depends on where the march is going, right? So national marches, that's when you'll see the three of us together. Right? That's why you will see us going to union buildings together. That's why you will see us going to the provincial government in Gauteng when we're together. That's why you'll see us here and having the mayor or the premier come and collect a memorandum here in Durban, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? So that's a national march. But when they do their provincial marches and whatever, they go to municipalities. They go to the provincial departments of Home Affairs to come. Because remember, sometimes we don't go to Home Affairs. Home Affairs will come to where the march is. Do you understand?
I'm getting
Yes. So every single time we march, we hand a memorandum over to Home Affairs. But it doesn't mean we're going to Home Affairs.
Have you met with him? Have you sat with the Minister of Home Affairs?
Several times. I sit, if I can show you.
And what has he said? What has he said?
You know, the Minister of Home Affairs, we don't sit with him directly. We sit with
Which is the
office.
Democratic Alliance.
Yes, we
Party.
sit with with the DG. We speak all the time. The people who are the role players in that department.
But not the minister himself.
Yeah, the minister hasn't made time with us, but we went and spoken to the DA to present our case, to state the reasons. We've gone to the BMA. We've gone to the when we are asking for inputs on on changes to the white paper.
Yes,
we've done that. We've gone to Parliament. I've been to Parliament to make a presentation on this. The minister was there as well. So that's what I'm trying to say, that we're not just marching the streets as much and much. I want you to understand that. That's why I'm trying to help you to differentiate between these three people. There's March and March, which does their own thing. There's Pagalum Tati, does his own thing. There's Ngizwe, does his own thing. But they are not the only ones as well. There's other organizations. There's Progressive Forces, there's Abahambe, there's Operation Tutula, there's this and that, there's Truck Drivers Associations, there's LACO, etc. Right? That's why I want you to understand this, right? So LACO will be the one that deals with the labor inspectors, making sure that South Africans are hired, etc., etc. That's how it works. It's just that March and March just gained prominence because for some reason, you know, in Ghana they started trending that Victoria had told this Ghanaian that he must go home. People said that's Jacinta of March and March. It was Victoria. I was like, okay, it doesn't matter because the message is the same anyway, you know. Somehow, gracefully, I'm not going to run away from that. March and March takes the blame for it all.
Let's talk about education. I mean, sorry, unemployment.
Yeah.
In South Africa.
Yeah.
South Africa still has one of the world's worst highest rate of unemployment, especially with young people.
Yeah, youth unemployment. Yeah.
Youth unemployment. Yeah. Isn't that a bigger crisis?
But what makes you think we're not solving the crisis?
Have you solved it?
Yeah, a lot of people are getting employed. I'll send you dozens. I mean, I might not have the correct number with me right now, but we've got tons of people who are getting employed who weren't employed before, which is exactly what we were saying, because we're dealing...
They were not employed before.
Yeah.
Is it that they're replacing the migrants that have been chased out?
Let me explain to you. It's what I was saying to you in the beginning, that we live in a capitalist country.
Of course.
Where capitalists are trying to maximize profits by all means. So of course, if it means banking labor laws, they're going to do that. So a lot of them have been trading in proper labor practices where they have to follow due process and pay a minimum wage for hiring people who are cheap labor. And this has been ongoing. There's even a
South African youth associations come out to say...
There's no youth association in
South Africa. So that's the other thing. But the labor unions are not supporting what you're doing.
We don't mind.
But but the labor unions are responsible for
they're not creating
numbers.
Employment. The labor unions, some of them are aligned with political parties. So what do you think?
But some would say that you're aligned with the political party.
Which one?
I don't know. That's what some accuse you of.
Well, they can accuse me of something. If they can't prove it, then it's just an accusation. I mean, I've been accused of working for Israel. Do I care?
Do you?
I don't care. If anyone can prove that I work for Israel...
No, I'm just asking, do you?
I'm saying there's no reason for me to work for Israel because Israel is a foreign country. Israel is exactly what I'm trying to fight against. Why would I want Israel to have infiltration in South Africa? It's exactly my problem with this country. We've got too much foreign infiltration in this country. Right now, I was saying the same thing, that Israelites and Palestinians are coming here to fight their religious war in South Africa. Why must we put up with that? Why? Like, which country in Africa must stand for a fight between two other countries that are not even South African? Does that make sense? Does that even make sense?
So let's go back to this unemployment. So you say you've employed...
I'm saying,
roughly,
I'm not saying
I've been able to.
I'm saying yes.
March and March I've been able to place...
Not March and March.
Okay.
A number of organizations that have... Because like I gave an example, LACO is specifically dealing with the employment of South African young people. Others are we've met, for example, with Uber, Take a Lot, etc. Personally, as much we've met with them. We've highlighted the importance of sticking to the laws of the country, and we've seen that some of them are abiding by that law, and we're happy with that. That's what we want.
But what about those businesses? Why is it that the spaza shops, as you said, they're run by migrants? They're not run by South Africans. Why is that?
Have you ever heard of a spaza shop mafias?
No. Tell us about them.
Yeah, so there's a new model now where Pakistanis, Somalians, Ethiopians and Bangladeshis are killing people who are trying to open tuck shops. And they're killing each other sometimes. I think might have seen the recent killings of tuck shop owners in Johannesburg that are running these shops. They're fighting for territory in that area because somehow they believe that they must give each other territory in this country. So that's one of the things that
yes, but that's a new thing.
It's not
These spaza shops have been around for
years.
Forever.
Yes.
I mean, they're local shops. That's what they are.
But do you remember what I told you when the conversation started? That they are getting these products from the...
Yes, I understand that.
Do you understand that if they're getting that product that's expired or not in the same product, that the price is going to be cheaper? So they presented themselves as someone who's providing a cheaper quality. Then after the years go by, we realize that the standard is actually not the same.
But my question is,
one of the things that have caused for them
are South Africans entrepreneurs?
They are. Yeah? I mean, there's a community in Kwatem, I believe. They took out all the migrants. Those shops were run by South Africans all these years. We've always been, those families, those shops have taken people to school. They've made people entrepreneurs, lawyers. They've made them doctors. People who came from those, these were the shops that we grew up around. Kwantombela, Kwamhlongo, you know, that's how we grew up. We never had these foreign shops being owned by Somalians and Ethiopians before. This is something that's new to us. And that's why there's children that are dying now, because the standard is not the standard that it's supposed to be. And remember, these people are living inside these shops. They're eating, they're sleeping in the shops, they're bathing in the shops, which is not supposed to be done. That's exactly what we're complaining about.
Historically, all over the world, migrants, whether documented or undocumented, migrants are economic migrants. They go somewhere, they work their way up from the bottom, and then they end up getting to where they want to get to. Save up the money, do, like you said, low-paid jobs, save up their money, open their shops, open their businesses, because by and large, they don't want to work for anybody.
Yeah.
Why is that such a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing. Nobody said that's a bad thing.
Well, what you're saying is because they're not documented.
No, you don't understand what
No,
I'm
you have
saying.
a problem with the kind of food that they bring in.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Oh, forgive me. Go ahead.
We don't have a problem with migrants, right? We have a problem with unregulated migration, first of all.
Right,
because
so that's the first thing, unregulated migration. Yes.
And people we don't know running. Yes. Even right now, there at that Malawian place, they caught a Malawian who had raped a girl who was also trying to run away and go back to Malawi, right? On top of that, I'm saying, you cannot come into a country and then have something called a spaza shop mafia, for example, where you are saying the locals must be killed or terrorized them for opening business in their own country. Two, on top of that, you cannot provide us with substandard goods because you want to trade them for goods that are actually of good quality so that you can sell us a substandard product at a cheaper price while putting the lives of children and people in danger, because people end up dead and they are not getting any justice as we speak. Just last week, I think about 6 or 7 schools had children landing up in hospital after buying food from spaza shops. That's my point, is that migrants, they come into a country, they are regulated.
But can March and March sue the government for these things? Why don't you sue the government? If we had
money, we would sue them. If we had money, we'd sue them. You think taking the
government... But Jacob Zuma's party, MK, marches with you as well, right?
So?
Your former president.
So?
Could he not fund that kind of legal case? Because it would be a landmark legal case.
The minute we take money from the MK, how much that's going to be a talk of the town. Then it's going to be something that it's not about. It's going to be about us fighting the current government and not fighting immigration. Because the propaganda that's already being spread is already ridiculous. So can you imagine if we were to take money from the MK to take the government to the, just think about it. What would the headlines be saying?
How closely do you work with them though on the marches, as March and March?
I'm actually much closer with MK LACO. Well, they don't call themselves MK LACO, they call themselves LACO. With Action SA, with the Patriotic Alliance, who we've had a fallout with now, with Operation Tutula. And you know why? Because the very first ever March and March, those are the only organizations that supported us.
Okay, is that not the same MK? That's a separate MK to Jacob Zuma.
They're not, they're a labor union
right,
now,
right.
But those are the people from the very first ever March and March 2025. They were there. So those are the people that I'm close with. Everyone else has come after. I mean, the IFP also came afterwards, and we're very close with the IFP as well. We sit with the Premier of the province, we discuss this problem, we try and solve it. He is also very worried about the state of the province and the state of the country, and rightfully he should. We all are. We all are worried about the state of this country. Unfortunately, every time we try and state our problem, nobody wants to hear it, because you want to make it seem as if South Africans are just like this bunch of crazy people who just like hate migrants. And
I certainly don't. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here to.
So I'm just gonna go back.
You know, your voice
it's fine. I get that. I mean, it's not like.
I think there's one of the reasons why this interview was important is, like you rightly said, there's a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of things that are said about you. So it was important for me, certainly as a journalist, to have you. Look, even if we go at it,
let me tell you, I think I've lost faith in journalism. Personally, as a person, I don't think there's journalism, you know, in the world actually, because there was a time when we were marching to union buildings. I'll just give you an example.
Please do.
Because I'm just trying to make you see just how bad things are. I mean, I've been in journalism. I'm not expecting you to come here and, like, you know, try and make me Mother Teresa of sort and just like speak nice things about, you know what I mean?
Nobody's a Mother Teresa.
That's not what I want. That's not what I want. But I'm saying, just don't say something I didn't say.
Which is why I'm giving you.
No, I get that. I mean, I get that. I'm just trying to paint a picture of journalism for you. So this particular march went to the union buildings, like I said, the president's
office.
Yes, basically. And we handed over memorandum, what. Now, when we were going there, people were singing and chanting, as you were saying, with sticks and what. Hello. And then when we got there, the story comes out, and it's an international news agency. And when the story comes out, they say, we woke up in the morning and decided to chase migrants on the streets. They said nothing about us going to the union buildings. They said nothing about us handing a memorandum to government. They said nothing about the government. Actually, they sent their deputy minister in the presidency to accept the memorandum, and she spoke. They said nothing about that. Absolutely nothing. There were stories there that were shared by people who were sharing their experiences. People who, from the tuck shop business, who were saying, I've been run out of my own tuck shop business. This and this is what happened. Not a single one of those stories made it. The only story that made it was that of black Zulu men holding sticks, chasing migrants down the streets. And mind you, nobody was being chased on that day. But I'm trying to tell you that I don't believe in journalism. I'm agreeing to this interview because I want people to decide
for themselves. Absolutely.
You know, I want you to be the one that says she's talking nonsense. You can write whatever you like on social media. But one thing I know about the truth is that it stands, you know. And I don't think for 32
years... So talking
of
truth...
I don't think for 32 years we could have stayed with migrants if we hated them, you know. I don't think South Africans are horrible people. I think we're one of the nicest people in the world, and that's why we have Ubuntu as our core. But eventually...
But the same South Africa has been the greatest beneficiary of Pan-Africanism.
No, that's not true.
Why is it not?
Because let me tell you something. Pan-Africanism, if you can calculate how many people left South Africa to go to other countries to stay there, it's at about 50,000 people.
What does that? Why is it measured in numbers?
It's measured
and
in
not
numbers.
in efforts.
No. I'm going there. I'm going there. South Africa currently has donated the most to healthcare in the entire Africa, of all African countries.
What, to the AU?
Yes, in aid.
Mm-hmm.
South Africa currently has hosted some of the most loose rules when it comes to migrants. In South Africa,
yes, they do.
In South Africa, refugees and asylum seekers are practically citizens of this country, right?
But you know why that was? That is because Africa came to the aid.
I don't deny that. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Let me
go
ahead.
What I'm saying, because I'm trying to go to the point where you feel like we haven't paid enough for that.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
But that's what I feel like.
That's not what I'm saying.
Because I'm saying, remember, my point is, I want you to hear what my point is. I'm saying for 32 years, we have returned the favor. That's my point. 32 years, we've returned the favor. We've sacrificed of ourselves so much. We've given up our cities. There are places we cannot go to that are owned predominantly by foreigners. We can't go there. We've given jobs. We've given our documents. People have been neutralized. They've been given refugee status, asylum seeker status, everything. But honestly, at some point, guys, you have to be fair. You have to be fair. Everyone cannot want to come here and we must keep quiet about it. Undocumented, untraceable, committing crimes, doing all kinds of things. And every time we try to say something about it, you're not listening. You want to say xenophobia, Afrophobia, hate. That makes you like block out completely what we're trying to say.
The actual issues that you're trying to put across.
Because when we sit on Sundays and we watch Sizokuthola, I'm sure you've seen Sizokuthola.
Is that the one I said with the big lady which goes to the
that's Zandi. House. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one that goes where these employers are
the ones
hiring.
where they're living in the houses.
Yes, those are the ones that are hiring illegal immigrants.
Right, yes.
So I'm saying to you, remember, we're still fighting the same white people that you're saying that oppressed us, right? We're still trying to get.
Well, this is what this was going to be my point, is that why are you not addressing, or maybe you are, tell me, the greatest issue in South Africa is the fact that apartheid, you still have economic apartheid.
But you see, that's what you're not listening to. And I answered this in the beginning.
No, you did.
I said, it's difficult to fight white people currently because they are basically rendering us out of our own country using migrants. And you guys don't want to hear that. Because if a white person is now having a Zimbabwean as a garden boy, a Malawian who work 24 hours a day and they do everything, they worship them, they're at the feet, and then the South African says, but my minimum wage is 5,000 Rand a month. And you come as Sarah from wherever and you say, I'm going to take 2,000 Rand. Does that fight not set us back? Of course it does. Now we have to focus on the.
So, but why are those employers not being arrested?
That's what we're trying to do right now. Remember, South Africa has been going on this lawlessness all along, and that's why we came as much and much to say these are the laws. That's why we are strong as much and much, which I think is what people don't understand. Why maybe we're like because we come and we say, we point out this is what the law says. Since I started with you, that's the only thing I've been saying.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing I've been saying, because nothing that we want to do is outside of the law. That's why we don't advocate for people to be killed. We want Africans, and I'm saying this again, to fight their government the same way we are, because they owe us that. Africa is not going to thrive if we all hide behind going to other countries, going to Europeans, and they're calling us slaves and making us cheap labor. We're never going to progress as a continent. We can't live in fear of our leaders. That is not leadership. And currently, Malawians are not scared of the South African government. But the minute they land in Malawi, they're scared of the Malawian government. That's the problem. Because now here, they are slaves to white people. The same white people you want us to fight. We are fighting them, but you're setting us back. And now when they go to Malawi and they land in Malawi, they know the laws and the rules because they respect their government. Here in South Africa, we protect the human rights of people. Why is it not every single African country prioritize the protection of human rights of its own citizens?
Absolutely.
That's what we're complaining about.
Well, you have the repatriation flights going, or the evacuation flights, if you want to talk about that. You have the Malawians also moving their people by bus. Ghana has done the same. countries are responding.
But
yet,
but you see, that's not the point.
No,
you're talking
you're
about
saying that it shouldn't start again.
I'm talking about they shouldn't even be here. You understand? Because the government is not providing them with what they need. And when you listen to Malawians who are talking about this issue, they are complaining that these migrants are the ones that don't want to go to school. From what we've been reading, they're saying, these people, they keep running to South Africa because they're lazy. They don't want to go to school. Then they make us look bad to the rest of the world. That's what
you mean
they're saying. Yes,
in Malawi?
In Malawi. That's what they're saying. You understand? Which is one of the things that I was saying, is that in South Africa, that's why we're emphasizing the vetting process. Because we want migrants in the country. But give us good migrants. We want those good Nigerians.
Do you know what you sound like?
Doctors. We want
when you say
migrants.
Give us good migrants, I grew up in the UK.
Yes.
And I grew up, I don't need to say my age on camera, but put it this way, I grew up at the time of heightened racism in the UK, and we have the same thing occurring again. And that is the language of white supremacism. They always say, give us the good migrants, give us the good Nigerians.
Okay, so what am I supposed to say? Give us the bad migrants.
No, give us the good black people.
So what am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to give us the bad migrants?
But do you realize how your language actually...
you're not listening to what I'm saying. That's why I think you want to compare me to white people.
No, I don't. Not at all.
I'm not white people.
I'm not at all.
What I'm trying
but that's
to say,
the language of...
I'm not racist.
I'm not saying you
I'm
are.
not
Permit
hateful.
me. Permit me.
I'm talking about what's happening in my country right now. I'm not going to account for what's happening in the UK. I don't know why white people say that. I'm talking about what's happening in South Africa. Because if Malawians in Malawi, you hear me, are saying that these people are the ones that don't want to get an education, that's why they come here and they do all of these things. We actually get the same from Nigerians who say the people that are coming to your country to commit. I've had several Nigerians, I can even show you some of the inbox if I can find them. The people who are in your country committing bad things are Igbos, because they are the ones that live committing crimes. These are things that they have told me. These are people in their own countries.
But nobody ever said idiocy is unique to any part of the world.
No, that's
there are idiotic people all over the world.
But what I'm saying, there's no country that is wrong for saying they want good migrants.
But if you
there's nothing wrong with that, because if you, as a Nigerian, say you want good South Africans to come to Nigeria, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay,
there's nothing racist about that.
But these are the same good Nigerians, as you call it, that you say take the job of an HOD.
You don't.
I'm just saying.
In South Africa, we've got Nigerians who are doctors, right?
Yes,
who are providing a scarce skill.
Yes,
which is something we applaud.
Okay, so you're okay with that?
Why
but
wouldn't
I
because,
be okay
with
hold
that?
on, because you said earlier that jobs were South Africans were being discriminated.
You don't understand. I was explaining what the law says.
The law says that you must employ South African first.
Listen to what I'm saying. There's IT specialists that come from outside of South Africa that are providing skill that no South African has.
Correct.
The law allows that. It's perfectly fine. I'm saying we can't afford ordinary doctors, like entry-level doctors, to not have jobs, because we're taking entry-level doctors without any special skill from outside of South Africa. That's my point that I'm trying to make, because I'm quoting exactly what the law says, and the law is not wrong to say that, because you don't want to close out opportunities for your own people who don't have anywhere else to go but to this country.
Home is home.
That's my point that I'm trying to say, because, for example, if we've got teachers, currently we've got so many Zimbabwean teachers that are not in this country, right? And when you follow...
You have many Zimbabwean teachers in South Africa, right?
Yes, I'll give you the numbers. I don't have them right now. Please remind me to give you all of this.
Don't worry, I'll send you a message.
So we've got a lot of Zimbabwean teachers, but we've got a high unemployment of teachers. You understand my point? And that is why
and that's local authority. Are the teachers not employed by local authority?
We're not denying that.
No, I'm just
That's
asking.
Exactly my point. So what we're doing as much and much, like I tried to explain to you, we're going to meet with ministers. We meet with the government. We meet with premiers of provinces. We meet with the police. We meet with officials. We even take our concerns to parliament. That's why we mingle with political parties, right? Because remember, we're not in parliament, but political parties are in parliament. So when we have a complaint, we take it to a political party to raise in parliament, right? That's why we have to have a relationship with political parties. You understand? So that's what I'm trying to explain here, is that right now in South Africa, all of that is being fixed because for a long time it's gone on as if it's normal, whereas laws were being broken. Even with those employers that you're saying, the white people, that's why those people are sitting outside, because now they're scared that they are coming into the spotlight, because all along they were using those people as cheap labor, which is exactly what I'm saying, is that that's our duty, to highlight what the law says and why people are breaking the laws. That's the point.
Okay. Let's talk about the 30th.
Yes.
What's the plan for the 30th of June? What should we be expecting? I do wish I could stay till then, but I can't, unfortunately.
The 30th of June, once again, it was a date that was announced by Phakelo Mtshakazi, right? He gave it as a cut-off date for all people who are in the country legally to self-deport and go home. Because our government, when we spoke to them, they said that deportation is very expensive. This is what they said. Deportation is very expensive. We can't afford to deport all these people, and therefore that's why it's taking so long. So I believe that when he said that, it was a motivation for people to go to their country and leave the country, obviously, because they know they're not in the country legally. And then when we saw the dates is like gaining momentum, everyone is talking about it, and they're aligning into March and March. Obviously now we're getting worried, like, okay, because what is going on? What is this about the 30th of June that everyone is talking about? So he tried to explain it, to say that it's not an event, it's not a Holocaust like people are trying to make it out to be. It's just a day that we've seen.
Well, it's been presented, and the way people have received it is a day of program.
I know,
a day when people...
I know.
Is it not that?
No.
It's just going to be a date.
As much and much, like I said, we saw the dates as getting out of hand because people have expectations that some of them are going to go out there and do crazy business.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, I've seen videos of somebody sharpening an axe, saying the 30th of June.
And the government has warned them against that, right?
But what's warning going to do? Whoever
I
responded
don't know, because
to
honestly, I kind of, you see, that's what I'm trying to say. We didn't announce the 30th of June. We are now trying to just put the situation together, right? So that there's no people running around acting crazy. But at least when we gathered in one place, we can have a march, and there's police and there's security. We can manage that.
Are you going to march on the 30th of June?
We'll have to. We don't have a choice. Because if we don't march, people are going to start doing crazy things like the one you just said.
Right.
That's the problem. Because now everyone associates the 30th of June with March and March.
Yes.
And if we decide to sit back and not do anything and say, we're not going to do anything, what is the government doing?
Why don't you say
they're having press
we will have our march on the 1st of July or the 5th of July. Please do not do anything on the 30th of June.
Oh, they're not going to listen to that. They're not going to listen to that. Because the 30th of June has been...
It's taken on a life of its own.
Even by government, right? Even government, even the international world is now talking about this 30th of June as if like... Then I said I even said to the government, the problem is the communication of the government. Because why are you creating fear? Like people must just be scared. If you are scared, for example, let's say if they felt like we are scaring people, why not call us? You understand? Call us and say, guys, the 30th of June, what is going on? Yabo, how do we mitigate the situation? Let's sit together. How do we fix it? You know what I mean? Don't go onto public platforms and keep saying, oh no, we are ready. We've got this much police. We've got this. It's adding to the fear. I was saying that we've had hundreds of marches. We've marched almost every day. You haven't seen people going and
but we do see though.
No,
I mean, we've
not
got
our marches.
not much. We do see individuals.
That's exactly.
And all I can say is that would it not be? No, I am asking. This is a question.
I'm frustrated because I have to account for things other people do, and I'm trying my best.
It's not. I get what you're saying, that it's not March, but when you see these videos of people, individuals going into shops, gangs going into shops saying get out, doing this, doing that. Do you no, what I'm saying is,
let
do you not feel like I like, stop
Do you
this.
know what
Have you said stop?
I've said it several times. I even showed you a video. I've been on TV saying the same thing, that we've never advocated for violence. We don't.
Do the other groups?
Do you know?
Amber
no, in Austin,
and all of
yes,
them.
they do. They do. They do.
But how do you tell somebody to stop when you're holding weapons during your march?
I'm trying to tell you that weapons are part of the culture.
It's just part of the Zulu outfit.
Even if I show you wedding videos right now, they're still holding sticks. It's part of the outfits. It's got nothing to do with terrorizing people or beating them up or whatever, you know. And that's why I'm repeatedly trying to explain that there's a cross messaging somewhere, and there's a lot of fear. Obviously, I understand it's coming from things that have happened in the past. I get that. But also try and be rational when you're looking at things, you know. Try and sift through the message. Listen to, when I speak, listen to what Jacinta is saying. Don't create your own version of what I'm saying. If you've never heard me advocate for violence, you can't then say that's what I'm saying. Because every time, like I say, I continuously say, we are dealing with the government. We hand over memorandum to government. When we do operations, yes, we're going to find illegal immigrants, we're going to remove them because they are breaking the law. They're not supposed to be in the country. But we're not going to do that on our own. We're going to have the police there because we're allowed to do that by law. But everything must be within the law. But we have to force the government, unfortunately, to do this with absolute vigor. Even if it goes to protesting every single day, we have to do that. But like I said, we do not want a model where people are going home in dead bodies. That's not what we want. We want a model where people are going home in full peace like you, and go there and say, listen, we were in South Africa, we were chased away, but we saw that the infrastructure is working, the roads are working, we want that for ourselves, so that we don't have to go to South Africa. You owe us that as our government. And if it means that all of us as Africans come together and be united with one voice and prove that Pan-Africanism is something that would work, it will work when we don't have to run away from our countries. There's no Pan-Africanism that works because you have to run away from Nigeria. That's not Pan-Africanism. It means we're not being honest with ourselves.
My last two questions. Number one is, you mentioned earlier on about lies or perception and things that have been said about you. In particular to do with Nigerians. What do you hold up to? Because I saw a video of you talking about your mother and Nigeria, right? There's also word of that you used to post that you were dating a Nigerian and everything. Can you put that together and just unpack that for us? What is true, what is false? So, because it is believed that that's partly why you hate Nigerians.
I don't hate Nigerians. They make me angry.
Why?
Because of their attitude and their behavior in the country.
How so?
Because of the drugs. Because
but
of
not
the,
all.
Of course,
is that a representative?
It's not all.
I'm listening.
It's not all. That's why I'm saying I have very good Nigerian friends that we discuss football with, that we happen to be Lionel Messi fans, and we all love Messi. And that's why I have some Nigerians who are even supporting me. Henry Talks, Ace, all of those people, because they understand what I'm saying. That South Africans, you know the reason why we are so angry when it comes to foreign nationals, if we're being honest, because of Nigerians, Ethiopians, Somalians, Pakistanis, and the way they've been behaving in our country, right? Of course, it's not all of them. But like I said, if something is in your eyes, like if they've taken over cities where they call an entire point road, an entire place, it's known for drugs, it's known for prostitution. And everywhere where you find that there's a number of Nigerians, that's the most common things. There's drugs, there's prostitution, there's children there being trafficked to sell their bodies, etc. This is a normal thing. And that's why we are angry. It has nothing to do with, and we always say, we know that Nigerians are good people, especially those in Nigeria. We're not advocating.
Well, there are lots of good Nigerians in South Africa.
No, we know those.
I mean, there's a huge professional.
Trust me,
professional community.
Like I said,
yes.
I have some of them as friends, so I know that. I know that. I'm talking about those particular ones. I'm not talking about. So I don't know. When I speak and I speak about Nigerians in a negative tone, I'm talking about those ones. I'm not talking about every single Nigerian. Unfortunately, it's going to come out as generalized because they are a general group, unfortunately. So when we talk about that, it's not because we're saying we look at Nigerians and we say, oh, we hate you. No.
No, you said something. You said, yes.
No, we
you
hate
said they're annoying.
Behavior,
Yes.
Not them as people. We don't like the things they're doing in the country. That's a fact. And we just wish that
so
the ones that are there that can acknowledge
of what happened to your mom.
So what happened with my mom is that she was married to a Nigerian.
Okay.
That she was not married to. And she was told when she tried to divorce, they said when she tried to remove the marriage and do it, they said she had to divorce and he would give half of it. And that was the whole fight around that.
Do you know where he was? I mean, did she know him?
Don't know the person at all.
So how did she end up being married to him?
It's the thing I was telling you about. The Home Affairs fraud and corruption.
Right.
That they do that. It was a normal thing, long time ago, before they tightened up the system. So now the system has become tighter, but now what's happening is...
But can a South African woman give a man nationality?
No, they definitely do that. Some of them
No, I'm just asking. Can a South African woman give nationality to a non-South African man?
Like I said, the system has been tightened. Before it was easier. You'd automatically...
But I think your law is that a South African woman cannot give nationality to a non-South African man. Isn't that it?
No, they can. That's why there's a show even on TV called Fake Marriages. That's what they do. They give them money to marry them. Then a lot of them end up having problems because their children now end up having to have the surname of this man that they don't even know. So they're asking this presenter on TV to help them find this man so they can annul this marriage because it was a fake marriage. So it's a thing that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is possible for a non-South African male to marry a South African female and then get a citizenship.
Yes, it's very much possible.
Is there naturalization?
Yes.
But why is that rarely ever spoken about? Why is it always documents? I'm just asking.
Because naturalization is a more difficult process.
Right.
Yeah. So citizenship is easier. Right. Naturalization kind of makes you a full citizen. You're able to vote, etc., etc. So that's very difficult. It's not as easy as getting citizenship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
your mom, going back to your mom,
that we were talking about, that a lot of people end up being married with people that they didn't. I think that's where this first sort of pain came from, if I can call it pain. And you know, just being around people sharing their different stories, man, it hasn't been nice. But like I said, you hate the actions, you don't hate the person.
Yes.
That must be very clear. Because I mean, I've met Nigerians all across the world. We still get along, we still fine. There's, like I said, there's other ones where we have football in common. We sit, we talk about it, because you don't hate the nationality, you hate the actions. And I really wish
the actions of some.
Yes. In our country, I think it's most in our country.
You think most Nigerians in South Africa are criminals?
Not necessarily. They don't have to be criminals. It's behavior.
Yeah, but behave in what way? So if they're not criminals, what's the other behavior? Because marrying somebody without their knowledge is criminal behavior.
What? Let me tell you. Yeah. I don't want to put the blame solely on them.
No, I know. I'm just asking you about Nigerians because
that makes it easy for corruption to happen. That's where the problem is. So they'll be rigging electricity, hijacking. There's a lot, you know, there's a lot that happens. And I don't want you to take, like I said, I'll send you some of the stories so you can understand, you know. It's not something that you must take at face value. Okay. Like I said, since October, even 2 episodes ago, it's always on Sunday. Always on Sunday. There's always Nigerians selling drugs. And
but do you not think those programs actually add fuel to the fire? They make things worse.
That's why I was
they inflame.
That's why I was saying to you why Much and Much came about. Much and Much came after Sizzle Tola. Sizzle Tola has been playing for 3 years, and that's why people have been getting angrier. And that's why we also decided to take a stand, because people in communities were getting angrier.
Because the one I watched, even though they take them away, right? You don't ever get to see the results of how many were documented, how many were undocumented. So it gives a framework of, we've arrested 100, 200 from this house. And I saw the woman talking to them. I mean, for a start, the way she speaks to them is totally unacceptable, I have to say. But outside of that, the framing is, we've come into this house, we've taken all these Malawians out, you know, and then they put them in a bus. And
those ones, it's for the ones I was telling you about that get employed.
You never get to hear.
I'll show you the crime one that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you never get to hear the result of when they take them to the police station or when they take them to the ministry. the result is not there.
Yeah.
So those things are just fueling the polity and just making people, they're rage baiting.
But that's what I'm saying to you, that's why the tension has been so high. It's not something that came now. It's been ongoing. And
this is DSTV, and DSTV has a huge market across Africa. Indeed, a huge market
Look, I
in Nigeria.
You've got a right to complain about that. I think you can submit your complaints, and I'm sure they'll take it in. But the point is, those are the shows that we sit and watch, and you can understand from a South African perspective. If you're on Sunday, every single Sunday, you're seeing Nigerians saying, oh, I came to South Africa. Why are you selling drugs? Oh, because I'm not working. Then you ask yourself, why did you come to South Africa? So all you guys are here to sell drugs. It makes everyone unhappy.
It makes everybody angry.
Exactly. And I'll show you the show.
It stigmatizes a group.
Exactly. But then it also doesn't help that every Sunday they're there as well.
Because they know where to go. I mean, if I want to prove that somebody is or a group is bad, and I know where to find the bad eggs, I would always go there.
But do you know that
film there?
But do you know there's 9 provinces in South Africa, and 6 of the 9 provinces. This is something that was written by the South African Police Service. I'll even show you the names. Please remind me of all of this before I forget.
I'm going to write this down.
Please, the South African Police Service.
SA Police Province, right?
Of the 9 provinces, 6 of the provinces have Nigerians as kingpins. That also speaks of a problem. And I want you guys to also be honest with yourselves about that. 6 out of 9 is a problem.
Look,
and I always say is that, I've always even seen Nigerians in Nigeria complaining that, when they get deported from other countries besides South Africa, when they get held for drugs, they also complain. They're like, these people are giving us a bad name. And I was saying, it's a conversation that you guys must also have. Why are they going to other places and selling drugs and committing crimes and all of these things? It's not giving your country a good name, and that's not something that you also want as a reputation.
You know, there are criminals in all societies, and those who are criminals and who have a criminal mind will carry their criminal behavior irrespective of where they come from.
I don't deny that, but let me tell you, South African criminals are in South Africa. That's the difference, because South African criminals are in South Africa. I'm not saying that they don't go to other places, but they don't go to other places in numbers, giving the country a bad name. That's where your problem is that Nigerians are outside in other countries committing crimes and giving the country a bad name.
But Nigerians do business all over the world. We are entrepreneurs.
It's being overshadowed by the bad people. That's the point, unfortunately. So this is this is the lady that is apparently me, right?
Oh,
you can see her name, right?
Yes.
Do you see who she is?
Who is she? Rafiba-Jua, is that right? Who is she?
I don't know who she is either, but apparently she's me.
Right, and what did she say?
She's the one that says she's dated a Nigerian, she would cheat with a Nigerian. Listen to
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I need to show it to the camera. Yeah.
So you can see who owns the
So you've never dated a Nigerian?
In my life, no.
I love Nigerian people.
I've never. You see? That's her.
Nigerian man.
So they started saying that's me.
Marry a South African man.
You've never actually dated
with a Nigerian man.
And I'm married now, so that's never going to happen anyway.
Clearly. How long do you intend to continue with March and March? Number one. Number two, when you say your main fight is with government, it's with government not managing your borders. It's not with the individuals. Are you planning to turn March and March into a political group?
Never.
You're not planning to turn it and maybe run for office?
Let me tell you, I can't wait to go back to normal life if my life will ever be normal. I'm tired. This thing is tiring.
So how do we stop this thing from recurring? Because this is not the first time.
You know what we stop?
This has been going on.
You know how we stop it? We have we're going to deal with governments. It's the government that's going to stop it, and we will deal with the government. They'll have to stop it, because at the end of the day, if they don't stop it, this will continue like a cycle. The government of South Africa.
And it always happens close to elections.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Nah, I don't think so.
But records show so.
Unfortunately, I think that it's been a bad thing where people use it to get into power, where they make promises. When they're in power, they forget about the people. That's why I'm not going to the political party. Because this is not about politics for me. This is just about making sure that South Africa is a good country, that people can still have a country as South Africans after everything, if after every politicians are done milking it and done stripping it apart and selling it off to all foreigners in the world, it still is a country that South African children can have.
So Nigerians, Malawians, Zimbabweans, they have nothing to fear on the 30th of June with regards to a massive pogrom. I'm just asking. I mean, I think you need to say whether yes or no, because this is a great fear.
Let me tell you something about hurting people. You don't issue a date for hurting people if you want to hurt them. Do you understand?
Well, you can issue a date, and all they did was issue a date and say, please, people should go. And those who want to take...
I've explained the
those
date.
Who want,
I've explained the date
Yeah,
issue,
no, and
right?
that's what I'm saying.
But
so
what I'm saying is, if we wanted to hurt people, we've been in existence for a year. People would have long been hurt. It's not going to take the 30th of June.
But there was not
people.
a date.
The date is not about hurting people. That's the point.
No, I know, but that's what I'm reconfirming with you. Are you saying that Nigerians, Malawians, all the migrants in South Africa need not worry about a massive pogrom, violent pogrom?
I'm saying that
on the 30th
violence
of June.
is never on our plans, but we do want people in the country legally to leave.
And if they don't, and if they're not able to,
no, the government
what
is going to
happens
make
then?
them leave.
No, 30th of June is what, next week?
I've explained the 30th of June deadline, okay?
Right, so you do want them to leave, but not on 30th of June.
There's no sane person in their head who thinks by the 30th of June all illegal immigrants would have been gone.
Well, that's the fear. I'm just saying, Jacinta, you have to understand.
I have to run away.
We are done. But you have to understand how people feel.
Please understand. I'm not running away from anything that you're saying. Thank you so much. You've been very graceful. You've really given me a time to speak. You've listened to me. You've disagreed with me, but you haven't been rude about it.
Absolutely not.
You've been very kind, and I appreciate that. You came all the way just to give me an ear. Right now, I'm saying to you, there's not a single African person that I wouldn't want to see going to fight their government. Because what I see happening in Africa is horrible. The conditions that African people are allowing their government to put them through is horrible. What I would like ideally is that once South Africa goes back to laws, because I keep highlighting what the laws of the country say, and unfortunately South Africa has been going on being unlawful for a very long time. And that's why we are re-inviting the law into our country, reminding our government of what the law says. Unfortunately, not everyone's going to be happy with us. Unfortunately, we can't control everyone, but we will try our best to control what we can. And if it means making sure that there's no violence, trust and believe me, we've got extra security that we've paid for on our own to make sure that they go and protect businesses and all of these things, because we don't want any of that. We've been through 2021, and in 2021, I can assure you, I was the first person to go out into my community and start cleaning up the community and tell them just how wrong it is that we had looting and all of these things. I'm not for that.
And lacing.
I'm not for that. Yes. You won't find me in those places, in those spaces. That is why I'm always in boardrooms fighting this issue of illegal immigration. What I do want, though, is for our African brothers and sisters to respect our country, because currently they don't do that. That is the honest truth. They don't respect us. They don't respect our country. You must see them on Facebook tormenting me, tormenting South Africans, telling us they're not going anywhere. This is their country. Mandela gave it to them. All of these things. You don't want to do that. It's not fair on us, right? Because you're placing the burden on us, and they get away scot-free to do whatever they want. So we're saying responsibility lies on both South Africans and foreign nationals to behave themselves in South Africa. Let us deal with the issue of migration. If you're coming to the country, come in through the legal routes and the right way. So that when we go to your country, we also feel comfortable knowing that we're respecting your country's laws. Because you don't want us to come to your country and do as we want and just behave anyhow. That's not fair. But ideally, the model is for Africa to work. For all Africans. We have children now that deserve to have a functioning Africa. We're Africans, and black people, we don't glorify just our skin color. We think like
Absolutely.
people who want to improve the continent.
Absolutely.
We behave like people who want to. We can't have dictators every single time. We've got 90-year-olds sitting there running the country while people are being beaten up and hit. Human rights must not only apply in South Africa. Human rights must apply everywhere in Africa. African leaders must not sit there in those Pan-African parliaments and discuss minds and all of. They must discuss real life African people problems. How are they making their people live better? The infrastructure, the roads, how they're improving their lives. And I'm so annoyed that we get to spend so much time discussing this issue over real other. I mean, I was so annoyed that there's children in Nigeria being kidnapped. I want to be there to help Nigerians to say we can't have whatever Boko Haram or ever terrorizing the. What is the Nigerian government doing about that? They can't go on as if it's business as usual while the children getting kidnapped. That can't. We, as the citizens of Africa, really need to hold our governments accountable. And if we continue to fight each other, we're never going to get to that phase.
Jacinta,
thank you, my sister.
I've practiced your name.
Several.
Mangobese-Zuma.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, my sister.
Thank
I'm so
you.
sorry I'm late.
No, it's okay. Thank you for giving up your time.
Thank you,
Thank you. I appreciate it.